Lewandowski stood there completely dazed, his assassin's mask dropping down to his chin. At 37 years old, he could not lead Poland to the tournament that was widely considered the last World Cup of his career. But no, it turns out that final memory was already left behind in Qatar. Sandro Tonali put in a massive amount of effort as well. His goal against Northern Ireland felt like a true reincarnation of his idol, Gattuso. However, when it came down to the playoff final, they walked away completely empty-handed in both games of chess, against Bosnia-Herzegovina and even against themselves. This summer, in North America, right behind those reserved VIP seats, there exists an empty station. That is exactly the place holding the cancelled flights, carrying the numbers of glory, grounded right before their scheduled takeoff. In this video, we look at the excellent faces who are forced to sit at home and watch the 2026 World Cup. The 3-2 loss against Sweden in Stockholm crushed the hopes of the 37-year-old striker. Poland went down on foreign soil, despite their heavy efforts to chase the game while constantly trailing from behind. The image of Lewandowski standing in total silence in the middle of the cold pitch was deeply moving. 89 goals for the national team could not help him drag the entire squad forward one more time. The flight of the Polish national team has been officially cancelled. This striker once wore the captain's armband heading into the 2018 finals over in Russia. That was a tournament where he failed to find the back of the net, and the home team finished dead last in their group. 4 years later, on Qatari soil, the Barcelona forwards' form looked much brighter with 2 goals. Poland made it past the group stage before suffering a tough defeat at the hands of France. During the European qualifiers heading into 2026, Lewandowski contributed 4 goals in Group G. However, Poland only managed to finish behind the Netherlands by a tight 3-point margin. After that, as we already know, they could not make it past Path B of the European playoffs. Looking back at his club career, the Polish striker possesses a massive collection of trophies. He won the Bundesliga 10 times, including 2 times wearing the Borussia Dortmund shirt and 8 consecutive seasons of absolute dominance with Bayern Munich. Moving over to Spain, he continued to pocket 2 La Liga championships with Barcelona. At 37 years old, the clock has officially started counting down on Louis' prime playing days. Alongside Lewandowski, the lifeless look in Sandro Tonali's eyes early this morning is the second image signaling a summer missing its big-name individuals. The Newcastle midfielder quietly walked straight down the tunnel. Italy missed the train to North America. Tonali is one of those directly affected by yet another disastrous qualifying campaign. This player's career over in England is maintaining a steady trajectory. He takes the field regularly and commands the midfield area for his club. All of his ball recovery and long passing stats are sitting at a solid level. However, his impressive form at the club level cannot make up for a crumbling collective on the national team. The penalty shootout loss against Bosnia-Herzegovina, a match where they opened the scoring, but then everything went completely off the rails following a red card. Not to mention the confusing decision on the penalty taker lineup marked the absolute end of the Italians' ambitions. Gianluigi Donnarumma is officially forced to be a spectator once again. The massive shock happened when the 2020 European champions fell 1-4 in a penalty shootout against Bosnia-Herzegovina. Despite previously winning the Player of the Tournament award when Italy conquered Europe, this goalkeeper still could not carry an entire collective through the psychological pressure of the penalty shootout. The most unfortunate moment was Bosnia's final shot. Gigio dived the right way, got a hand on the ball, but just could not push it out. The past year has truly been an emotional roller coaster for Donnarumma, going from shining in the knockout stages to help PSG win the Champions League, to suddenly being pushed out the door, having to adapt all over again on English soil, and now being the captain of an Italy squad that misses out on a third World Cup. The striker on Borussia Dortmund's payroll is currently a highly effective goal-scoring machine over in Europe. Throughout the last 3 seasons in the Bundesliga, Girassi has torn the opponent's nets 62 times in the 2024-25 Champions League. Absolutely no individual managed to surpass the 13-goal mark that he set. These stats are clear evidence of the Guinean player's physical strength and sharp finishing instincts. However, the African qualifiers brought a completely contrasting result. Guinea had to say their goodbyes right from the very first group stage. Gerassi's national team only managed to finish in 4th place in the standings. After going through 10 match days, they gathered a mere 4 wins and 3 draws. The gap in class between an individual playing his football in Germany and his teammates on the national squad created a massive barrier, stopping Guinea from advancing deeper. The Paris Saint-Germain star is currently living through some of the most memorable days of his playing career. Last season, he was a primary factor contributing to their Champions League championship run. In the final match that wrapped up with a dominant 5-0 scoreline against Inter Milan, this talented winger directly put his own name on the electronic scoreboard. That spectacular form helped Kvaratskhelia finish in 12th place in the 2025 Ballon d'Or voting ballots. However, all that glory at the club level cannot cover up a completely dead-end qualifying campaign alongside Georgia. The Eastern European squad fell into a tough group featuring the presence of Spain, Turkey, and Bulgaria. Looking at the final results, Georgia put on a lackluster performance and managed to collect exactly 3 points after the entire series of matches. The Nigerian striker is the next name to taste the bitterness in the World Cup qualifiers. Looking back at his club journey, Victor Osimhen was once the key factor that brought Napoli to the Serie A throne back in 2023. After making the switch to wear the Galatasaray shirt last season, he continued to maintain a steady goal-scoring record. The figure of 26 goals after 30 matches directly contributed to helping this club lift the Turkish Domestic League Championship trophy. Coming into this season, he has 19 goals and 7 assists across all competitions. Among those are 7 goals in the Champions League. On the international stage, Nigeria's path was much more rugged. During the first group stage phase, the African representative let their opponents hold them to a draw in up to 5 out of their 10 matches played. As a consequence, they finished the group stage with 1 point less than the leading team, South Africa. A second chance opened up through the playoff series. However, a cruel scenario unfolded in the clash against Congo. When Osimhen was already subbed off the pitch, Nigeria suffered the ultimate defeat on the penalty shootout. This current season has recorded the standout performances of Dominik Szoboszlai over in England. The midfielder on Liverpool's payroll maintains a steady form and frequently produces accurate, long-range goals. This player's ball progression ability is a massive bright spot in the way the Anfield home team's midfield operates. However, the Hungarian national team went through a harsh scenario in the final set of matches of the group stage. Everything seemed to be completely settled when they rose up to take a 2-1 lead against the Republic of Ireland. The ticket to attend the playoffs was sitting right in the hands of Szoboszlai and his teammates. A lack of focus in the dying minutes completely destroyed all of their hard work. Ireland scored 2 consecutive goals. The comeback defeat caused Hungary to be officially eliminated, handing the playoff spot over to their very opponents. The veteran goalkeeper of Atletico Madrid has long established his name in La Liga and the Champions League. Jan Oblak possesses a long wingspan, sharp reflexes, and the ability to safely command the penalty area. In the shirt of the Spanish capital club, he always plays the role of a solid defensive anchor, rescuing the team from a series of close-range finishes. But team sports demand balanced strength from every line. A good goalkeeper cannot completely make up for all the flaws of the squad. Slovenia faced a deadlock in finding the back of the opponent's net against their direct competitors in the qualifiers. Even though Oblak put in the effort between the sticks, a lackluster attacking line caused the European representative to drop crucial points and miss out on the flight to the Americas. Ultimately, in the European qualifiers, the Little Dragons could not win a single match, drawing 4 and losing 2. They were the only team in the group without either a direct ticket or a playoff spot. The name that closes out this list of individuals missing out is Bryan Mbeumo. The Manchester United player has made significant strides in recent times. Ever since moving to Old Trafford, he brought along his pace, his drive, and both passing and shooting skills with a high level of accuracy. Mbeumo provided an additional solution for the Red Devils' attacking line this season. Unfortunately, the Cameroon national team could not successfully capitalize on their chances in the African qualifiers. Continuously dropping points during their away trips caused this team to lose their competitive edge. Mbeumo himself was constantly tightly marked by opposing defenders, cutting off the line of communication with his partners. In the end, the indomitable Lions fell to Congo in the semi-finals of the African playoffs. Just one more passenger who had to return his ticket. 9 names. 8 cancelled flights at the empty station of North America 2026. The finals will continue to take place amidst billions of eager cheers. But the absence of Lewandowski, Tonali, Donnarumma, or Osimhen will certainly leave behind massive voids in terms of individual stats and media appeal. Professional sports measure success by the ruthless numbers on the scoreboard. Regardless of whether you score 89 goals for your country, capture domestic league trophies 10 times, or carry a transfer fee of tens of millions of pounds, the boarding pass is only meant for those collectives that can prove their playing effectiveness in the decisive moments. These 9 individuals will return to their club routines, closing the book on a qualifying campaign full of regrets.